Hello, everyone, and welcome to EVTN News. Today, I have some stories for you. This is what after the synod, I guess. The synod. When did the synod end? It feels like it ended forever ago, but anyway, we're moving on, and Francis isn't moving on though. The synod is perpetual in his mind, and others as well. So, Cardinals Robert McElroy of San Diego and Blaise Cupich of Chicago joined Father James Martin, S.J., in praising the Synod's conclusions and calling for immediate changing of the United States ecclesial sphere in line with synodality. The two American cardinals, who were received in a private papal audience recently, along with Cardinal Joseph Tobin of Newark, New Jersey, called for a reform of the USCCB leadership structure. Cupich said that in light of the Synod, it is very clear from the document that this is what we're supposed to do. McElroy called for setting up a committee on synodality, adding that, I don't think there's any escaping it. In an interview with the National Catholic Distorter, McElroy said that obstacles to advancing women's role in the church are due to prejudices that women shouldn't be doing certain things or that men should be preferred. He opined that there is a cultural change that needs to take place so those obstacles aren't present. He said, I myself am in favor of women being ordained to the diaconate. This isn't John the Son of Thunder. This is heretic. This is a heretic speaking. He said, I myself am in favor of women being ordained to the diaconate, and I hope to see that happen. He added, while attesting that there is a visible challenge of the sanctuary being all male, he said that's a countersign to the life of the church. Well, I think with McElroy being in favor of women's ordination, there's a different religion for that, and it's not the Catholic Church. I mean, it's you could go Anglicans, they do that, and some of the groups do that. You could go to, I believe they're called the Unitarian Universalists. That's always a good one for McElroy and probably fits better with his theology. So, all right, here comes the. I don't know why I always get so much traffic, but anyway. Okay, so this is a funny one. Okay. Yeah, this is a funny one. The Archbishop of Cincinnati recently did some really interesting things. So, okay. The Archbishop of Cincinnati is ending a 110-year relationship with the Girl Scouts of the USA due to the group promoting gender ideology contrary to Catholic teaching. So, Archbishop Dennis Schnurr announced that pastors in the Archdiocese must discontinue any partnerships with Girl Scouts by December of 2025. He said the Archdiocese of Cincinnati cannot partner with an organization that, from its highest level, advocates ideas which the Church considers false and harmful. Schnurr wrote this in the October 28th letter to the faithful. Okay. Let's see. So, Schnurr is he banned the Girl Scouts because of their LMNOP support, and okay, let's see here. Man, there's a lot of spammers on this place. Okay. So, wow. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, getting back to this, Archbishop Schnurr, he is 75 years old. So he's going to be retired very soon, and this is going to expedite his retirement because I think he's actually close to 76, honestly. But in the Francis Church, when you do something like this, that is not going to get you any promotions, and it's going to get you a quick retirement. So I think, and here's something. So the USCCB meeting is next week, and so I expect after that, I expect a lot of these open bishop spots will be quickly filled, and Schnurr is going to be removed very quickly. He'll be sent into retirement very quickly, I'm sure. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Moving on. And so with the USCCB meeting, I just want to say about a little bit about that. So I think with the USCCB meeting, going to be they're going to be talking. Well, you know what? I'll talk about this at the end. All right. So let's move on to so Archbishop Tarcisio Iseo Kikuchi, age 65, of Tokyo, Japan, spoke to a news website on October 26th. He said, "If there is a conclave soon, I think we will need someone who will continue the policies of Francis." Wow. According to Monsignor Kikuchi, Francis stated, "This synodal journey to create a synodal." He said Francis started this synodal journey to create a synodal church. And if someone comes with a different agenda, then what we have done would be in vain. It would just disappear. So basically, it's like the sunk cost fallacy, I think is what it's called. Just keep doing things for the sake of doing it because otherwise you wasted your time. But that's exactly what they did. They wasted their time because it's complete garbage and no one is really inspired by it except apparently this archbishop. So that's kind of sad to see. Okay. And moving on to Jefferson City, Missouri. So the Diocese of Jefferson City, Missouri will implement a formal ban this week on the singing of certain contemporary hymns at Mass because of the doctrinal inaccuracies in their lyrics, as well as a blanket ban on music by 3 Catholic composers who have been accused of misconduct. Jefferson City appears to be the first U.S. diocese to formally align its music practices with guidelines issued by the USCCB in 2020, which laid out a list of problematic hymns, faulting many of them for falling short in their presentation of the Church's teaching on the Eucharist. In a decree dated October 24th, Bishop Sean McKnight listed a dozen commonly used but doctrinally problematic Catholic songs that will be absolutely forbidden in the diocese after November 1st. So that is now. Now, this bishop actually did block me on Twitter. So that's kind of funny. I pointed out that the bishop. I pointed out that this bishop, he hid comments on Twitter that he didn't like, and that's actually what I'm doing right now, because looks like there's a lot of spammers on here. But anyway, let me read some of the songs to you. So I found this really funny. Let me just open this here. Okay, so prohibited hymns, and he recommended certain things. One of the things he recommended was chant mass. So that's kind of interesting. Hymns deemed doctrinally problematic by the USCCB Committee on Doctrine. So one of them is All Are Welcome. So see if you recognize any of these hymns. No, I'm not going to sing them. All Are Welcome, Ashes, Bread of Life, God Has Chosen Me, Led by the Spirit. I guess I've heard that song. I think it's to an actual Catholic tune, but I think the words are weird. Table of Plenty. And then it said, all works by these composers are prohibited. I don't recognize two of them. One of them is David Haas. So, okay. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, the bishop blocked me on Twitter, so it is what it, I mean, whatever. Okay. And I guess the last news story that I have is that, have you seen the Vatican's anime art? Simone Legno of the Tokidoki Company, designer of Mascot Luce, has produced vulgar art and worse, and I'm not really getting into it there, but I post all my links in the description, so if you want to see that, you can take a look. But Parent Ryan got into the spirit on Twitter and posted some anime, so that's always fun. I don't know. But okay, so next week is the USCCB meeting, and I'm going to cover that. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm actually kind of getting a headache now just thinking about it, because it's not enjoyable. But just, doing what I can to bring you guys the latest news, and that's sort of the updates, see where the bishops stand on certain topics, and it's always interesting for that. Now, the bishops are going to be talking about synodality, so just, just kind of figure out what you think about it, because it's not going to be, it's going to be pretty terrible, honestly. So, okay. Years ago, I love this song, We Remember That, but then 5 years ago, I was at a mass out of state, and they had this song during mass, and I was like, why did I ever like that song? Oh, huh. Okay, you can guess I'm really glad. Go to the Latin mass now. Ad volentis, that's kind of funny. It says, if you hate Luce, you're a heretic. It's a common reply on my posts on X. Yeah, so I don't actually understand what, there's a lot of people on Twitter, and I don't really understand the whole anime thing. I really don't get it. I'm not gonna spend very much time commenting on it, because I just don't get it. I don't see how. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see the purpose of it. But hey, whatever, I guess. Yeah. So I've just we have the time change this week, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I have thoughts, but those thoughts are probably more appropriate for Rumble. I haven't done a Rumble in years, honestly, but definitely wouldn't wouldn't be appropriate for this platform. My thoughts, sadly. But yeah, that's just how it works sometimes. Um, so yeah, don't put your faith in politicians. Um, some are better than others, but don't put your faith in politicians, and don't put your faith in. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I can't really say much more. So, I finished a few books, so I'm hoping to do some book reviews, and I'm always glad. Ad Volantis, yeah, yeah. Well, tune in. So, my live stream next Monday, which actually will turn out to be Veterans Day. By my live stream next Monday, maybe we'll see who's the winner. Um, if you get my drift, right? um, yeah, I remember last year I was up in and out throughout the night checking the results, and there were no results. What a surprise! So, are you gonna wake up Monday and figure out what happened? Hmm. I'd be more surprised if there's a result on Wednesday morning than if there isn't. Yeah, that's I'm planning is just watch Lord of the Rings. Okay, yeah, um, yeah. All the popular, you know, Catholic YouTubers are gonna have their live streams and everything. I'm just kind of waiting. One election I'd really like to see is the election of a pope. I mean, I'd like to see that very soon. Um, very soon. Yeah. I'll have a little bit more commentary on what to expect from the USCCB next week. I have to say, the last few meetings without Strickland have been very boring. Um, I think we'll get some sappy synodality quotes. Um, I think we'll get some sappy synodality quotes next week. I think it's going to be it's. I guess what did the kids say? Cringe. I think that's a good way to describe it. It'll be really cringe. Um, but I mean, that part I'm looking forward to because it'll give me more content. The last few USCCB meetings, oh man, there's nothing. I mean, there's hardly anything to work with. But which, by the way, Frank Walker at Canon 212 sometimes shares those video clips. Check up, if you like watching the news or if you like following Catholic news, canon212.com. Frank Walker does a good job. He reads the news, so you don't have to. Sort of what I do in a sense, but I mean, he does. He's better at it. And yeah, Canon 212. That's the place to be. Pope Francis too. Well, you know what? Whenever it comes to it, we'll discuss. So right now, I just want to give a little preview of things to come, and this is very early, but I'm reading a book. Ed Penton wrote a book in 2020 called The Next Pope, and he has biographies of I want to say like 15 to 20 cardinals at least in 2020. Now several of them are aged out, so I think he was kind of like really really hoping for a new pope in 2020, as were a lot of us, and it didn't happen. We're 4 years, almost 5 years down the road now. So a lot of those cardinals have aged out. Several of them in his book are over 80 at this point. A lot of them, another portion of them are in their late 70s. So it's not going to give me like a extremely helpful picture of who's going to be the next pope. But if one of them, I'm reading up on it, just see the backgrounds of some of these guys. I'm not an optimistic I mean, I'm not optimistic about what I'm going to find in those pages because I think he tried to balance it out with the conservatives and the leftists. Um, the conservatives don't really stand much of a chance. I mean, they got to manipulate their way into it. That's the only way they can. It's the only way we'll get a conservative pope, is if they find a way to manipulate it. Sad to say. Does the end justify the means? I don't know. I mean, I think, was it in the Gospels that Jesus is it him that said, "Yet let your yes mean yes"? Um, so I don't know if there's any way around it. Pope Francis too. That's a possibility. We could get certainly certainly hope we can at least get someone better than the guy that's in there now. But that remains to be seen. And you want to talk about uh, election integrity, and there's going to be some real, what do I want to say, disputes about the integrity the integrity of the papal election for sure. So okay. Francis cardinals are all tainted. Yeah, Francis bishops. Yeah, he actually just appointed a new cardinal today to replace the guy that backed out. And there wasn't. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot on the guy that declined the invitation. But see, a lot of the cardinals, if he appoints a cardinal, like a lot of them don't. They don't really do anything extra, really. I mean, they might just travel to Rome a little bit more. But who wouldn't want to help elect a new pope? Like who wouldn't want to vote for a new pope? Really? I mean, especially if you're a bishop. Um, you're part of history, but I don't know. It's okay. So he did include. So this is Domenico Battaglia, Archbishop of Naples. Uh, he will be a new cardinal, and Gloria TV says Battaglia is a staunch anti-Catholic with many problems in his diocese, so he's certainly a top priority for the Francis Church. I don't know. I guess that remains to be seen, but that's just kind of what we're dealing with here. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you. This has been EVTN News. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we are the laity. We will not be silent.